कृपया लक्ष द्या. जयपुर वाया कोटा. कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
लखनऊ जंक्शन
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೆಗೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express. পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন. कृपया ध्यान दियो.
7 games and 7 wins for the home team. Will Hyderabad carry on this trend? Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami, and Lisa and I have managed to convince Mr. Joy Bhattacharjya to stop working from home and join the win from home. It's always good to have you back, Joyda.
Thank you,
Cricbuzz is home, isn't it, for us? Especially when you all come in, it becomes home.
No, absolutely. As long as Gaurav shuts up about defending champions and all, I'm happy.
And as long as he keeps ordering the good food.
Yeah,
He makes it very homely.
he does. Yeah. He does. He rocks up late. He literally walks in with 1 minute to go, orders good food, and somehow it seems to be guessing right. So we need to make sure we win today.
Today our competition is with him downstairs. It's always
It's actually not between us. It's
So then we need to hedge.
But with Hyderabad and Mumbai, the pressure's on. Both these teams lost their opening games. Hyderabad lost a game which, they almost went towards victory. Mumbai lost a game which they should have won, but then they lost. There were pressure on the new captain of Mumbai is going to be massive, considering the next game is going to be in Mumbai. So if Hyderabad win today, it's not the pretty homecoming for Hardik.
Yeah, it can't be easy. And also what's happened is, look, if last year the captain was replaced, if Rohit was replaced because they did nothing at all last year, you can say that, you can turn around and say that, okay, this year, whatever, it's a rebuilding team. Two things. One is they actually reached the semi-finals last year. With that team, without Bumrah, without Hardik, they reached the semi-finals. So the expectations on them are much higher. So nothing less than a championship will suffice. And if anything less than a championship had sufficed, Rohit Sharma would still be the captain of Mumbai. So that is the pressure on him. And I think that's the point, that there's a lot of off-field stuff that's going on. And I don't think that they're having enough time to focus on the on-field stuff, or there's too much noise around the team right now, and it can't be easy for any of them.
But Lisa, he's under a microscope on and off the field. Off the field, Joyda spoke about how with social media, it's always difficult on a player, I guess, but there's so much chatter. But even on the field, the other day, there's a lot of discussion because he came in and bowled very quickly. He bowled 2 overs in the power play, and then he came to bat at number 7. And for Gujarat, he used to usually bat at 4.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where he wants to bat. I mean, for Gujarat, the numbers were pretty good, weren't they? He batted at number 4, 800 odd runs, strike rate of 130. You think, okay, he's kind of securing his place up the top order. And we all know batters want to be batting higher up. Though when he played for Mumbai, between him, his brother and Pollard, they used to change. And so it looks like Mumbai are almost going back to that old mentality with Tim David, the Pollard of the side now. But I wonder, Joy, if the game is moving on. We're starting to see teams go really hard. I don't know if that's a winning formula. I mean, it's still early days, and it may work for Mumbai, it may work for Hardik, but it seems like things are changing in the T20 game.
No, absolutely. In fact, that's you see the first few matches, and you have teams like CSK winning with highest of 30s and 40s, and everyone's coming in there doing their job, getting out. Those thing of one person anchoring the innings and the big burst at the end, those were what defined, especially between 2010 and 20, what defined T20 cricket. And we're seeing less of that now, less of being able to say, let's consolidate, one guy hold it, and then these guys go bang, bang, bang at the end. And now it's sort of continuous scoring. The other thing is, one of the other things that I was thinking about is, that's one huge part of it. And that game, I think, the teams who have adopted that are doing well right now. CSK has adopted that very well. In that way, even Kolkata is playing that kind of a formula where you say, you come here, you keep hitting. No matter what the situation is, no matter what bat is in, which batter is in there, you keep hitting. Because remember, Impact Sub has also effectively given you an extra batter.
Just a quick update. Mumbai have won the toss and they've decided to bowl first. Lisa, you were correct. The winning captain should be bowling first. But just again a little bit on Hardik, and there was so much discussion about him coming down. Pollard in the post-match went ahead and said that, it's not Hardik's decision. He's the captain, but there is a management, there is a strategy. So don't be so hard on him because it wasn't his decision.
No, I think unlike Dhoni, who decides when he's coming into bat, right? There is a management team, there is coaching staff, there is an analysis going through and figuring out, okay, who's still left to bowl? Okay, who's our best batters to come in? Those kind of decisions are being made, and so I don't think it's just solely him. So I would agree with Pollard in saying let's not be too critical, but I think at the moment it doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter what's actually happening. The optics is not many people are liking what Hardik is doing, and they're quite happy to criticise. So I feel for him that he's under the pump because he's been put into this position by Mumbai, and he's actually copping a fair bit.
Yeah, he's copying a fair bit. See, there's one other thing. If you remember, when the auction finished in 2022, the least rated team, or 21? No, 22, 23, 24, 22. The least rated, Gujarat Titans were one of the less rated teams. Okay side, decent bowling attack, but the batting is nothing to write home about. And it's a very low pressure team. There were no expectations of pressure. So also here, you have a staff in Gujarat which is a cocoon around you, Vikram Solanki, Ashish Nehra, Gary Kirsten, all of whom know each other, Ashish Kapoor, all of them know each other very well. And was this protective coating around the captain, saying, okay, don't worry. And he's literally said in interviews that in the first 4-5 matches of the IPL, I never coached. Ashupaji coached from outside. Okay, he said that. So now you've taken him from that very protective atmosphere where they've overachieved by huge amount and put him right into the goldfish bowl, because Mumbai is the most celebrated franchise, the richest franchise, the most successful franchise, and given him the role of a captain who's beloved and won 5 championships. So all that comes into play, and therefore the pressure on him is unfair. The only question that you can ever debate is, could Hardik have said, you know what, I'll move to Mumbai, but I'll wait 1 year. Let Rohit captain this year. He's been the fantastic captain. I'm going to play this year. It's enough time for me to get used to the Mumbai team again and used to the atmosphere. Hey, next year, who knows? It's a new auction. Rohit may not want to play. We don't know what's going to happen. Next year, I'll take my chances and leave the captaincy for this year and just move. But I think that's my point of view. His point of view would have been, I've won a championship. I've reached the finals with my second. I should be captain.
Yeah, maybe.
But Lisa, with Mumbai, just the captain that's changed. With Hyderabad, consistency has not been their forte because their captains change, their coach changes, their support staff changes. But unfortunately, their luck doesn't change. The last 3 seasons have been very forgetful. They've finished last twice. They finished at number 8. What advice do you have for your fellow Aussie who's now taking on this pressure?
Yeah, it's a tough franchise to come in. But there's an element of, well, they can't get any worse, right? I mean, there's nowhere else to go. You've already been down the bottom. Yeah, yes. Correct. But one thing they've managed to do is that they've gone with Pat Cummins, who has been very successful as a skipper, and he's been able to win so many different tournaments. But he's also had a wonderful support staff around, and they've managed to bring one of them over. Daniel Vittori is with the Cricket Australia, the Australian team, as an assistant coach. But you can see so many different captains, so many different coaches. So they're hoping, Hyderabad is hoping that, okay, maybe we're onto a winning formula with these two, because these two spend actually a lot of the year together, formulating, bonding, knowing how to get the best out of each other. So hopefully they can do the same for the playing group.
Joyda, we've spoken about this because you've been a part of dugouts and the management. It is a very crucial part in the IPL because it's like we said, Hardik, the captain, just goes onto the field, makes those last-minute changes, any captain, but the backing the management has, the coaches have, they play a huge, huge part. And with Hyderabad, that's just constantly been shuffling.
Absolutely. You see, what happened was that you have to see what teams are by their identity. So MI has always been an owner's team. That means, yes, you have coaches, you have captains, but the identity is set by what the ownership of MI is. It's a franchise. Kolkata in its successful days was Gautam's team. I mean, Chennai is Dhoni's team. It's nobody else's. Fleming is happy to play a second-hand inning. Now, in their best days, when Sunrisers were a very successful team, they were a coach's team. There was Tom Moody, Muthaiya Muralidharan, that VVX Lakshman, the Troika. Yeah. The three of them used to run that team. On the coaching, and you'd every year we'd look at their their picks in the auction and say fantastic picks. They'll pick Nabi up from nowhere. They'll pick a Siddharth Kaul up. He'll do well for them. They'll pick out Natarajan from TNPL. That aura has burst. And that's one thing they've just got to first and foremost. I believe that stability is really important. So whoever it is that those two people that you choose, give them 3 years. I think they have a bit of a head start for one reason: the fact that Vettori and Cummins spent a lot of time together before. But the issue is that you now have to give these people, and by bringing in Cummins, because had you given the captaincy to Aidan Macram or anyone else, you had the opportunity then to play or not play Cummins. Now you are in a situation where you're forced to play Cummins. And I'm not sure with the kind of international players they have, he walks into the team. And that's a huge balance issue for me.
Like you're talking about with Pat Cummins coming in, they have such a big pool of overseas players. We'll have a look at their playing 11 because it's always a question of who is sitting out with them. So 2 changes, Travers Head comes in and Unadkat comes in. Surprise there considering just 1 game and Natarajan sits out?
He must be injured. There must be a niggle because
he has a niggle,
okay,
so he will be sitting out.
Three wickets. He certainly bowled well. Huge opportunity for Unadkat. I mean, seriously, he's gone around to a number of franchises, and hopefully he's found a nice little home there. Travis Head, he'll give them a spin option as well, so he may bowl a few overs, but. He's been playing aggressive cricket. He kind of after the World Cup, he kind of had a bit of a slump during the Australian summer, and everyone was saying, well, maybe he had been partying too hard. And
I don't blame him.
Yeah. But he'll come good. He's an aggressive player, so I find that interesting that they've made that change. But they're trying to get the balance right and ensure that they've got maybe a little bit more strength from a batting point of view.
Joy, with usually 1 game into the tournament, you don't see so many changes. Of course, Natarajan has a niggle, but getting Travers Head so quickly, do you think it's kind of showing just a sign of desperation, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's the point, that they've probably seen the track and said this is a batting paradise, whoever's there. You need to get the 200, 250, and they must be a little bit bothered that they're not getting the runs that they have from their top order. I also feel, again, that when you have players like Klaasen, Markram, I still feel they're batting a bit lower than they should, because you need to give them earlier opportunities up front when the ball is hard. In the first 6 overs, you need to give your best batters the opportunity. I think the old rule of saying, let somebody in to throw their bat, the problem with that person is even if they throw their bat and they get 40, when the ball gets slightly older and it's difficult and the field goes out, they are not, a more capable batsman will still be able to find the boundaries, okay? Whereas if you're not that capable, you've shot your bolt in your first 6 overs, you've played those 30 balls in your set, but you don't then have the ability to, keep that scoring rate up. So that's a serious issue I think they need to look at and say that if I have batsmen of the quality of Markram and Klaasen, they must get as many balls as possible. That, to a certain extent, they've redressed with Head going up front. Saying, okay, he's going to be aggressive, up front, top quality international batsman is going to go for you.
Well, this is something that Simon was saying yesterday as well, and something that both of you all said yesterday is you all wouldn't expect a change in the Mumbai playing 11. I don't know if they've gone ahead with a change, because usually in the second game, we don't see too many changes around.
Big one.
Wow. Big change there. So Wood is out, and South African pacer is in.
But he's an amazing story. I mean, he's from the same, under-19 World Cup, same school as Rabada from Joburg. Does very well, then got 21 wickets in his 6 matches in the Under-19 World Cup. But, I mean, just an amazing story. He thought he's here for the summer holidays, come play a bit, hang around with the Mumbai camp, and suddenly he's got his name on the back and he's going out in the 11. I mean, it's an incredible story. And I think Mumbai has this habit. If you remember a couple of years back, Marco Janssen's brother, they flew into the 11.
Yep.
So they'll suddenly put someone from left field, and you see, the other thing is the coach of the other team, they're not used to that player, so nobody sort of scouted that player. So it's an opportunity as well. And they would have said that, Wood has gone for so many runs.
Yes.
I mean, how much worse can he get? And it's a good one.
Yeah, I think it's the shock the surprise factor, right? And there isn't nowadays in cricket. There's not a huge.
There's not too many
You
opportunity.
can't do a surprise player coming in because there's normally enough analysis. I mean, they'll still have some idea from the Under-19 World Cup. So I think he picked up the 21 wickets, the most ever by a bowler. He's still only 8. He's still at school. So, what a huge opportunity for him. From all reports, I listened to Ian Bishop on commentary during that World Cup, and he had glowing reports about this kid. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in the best tournament and see what he can actually do.
Joyda, we'll have a look at the impact list as well, because we'll have a look at Hyderabad's impact list. They're going to be batting first. So,
yeah, I mean, I just look at one name and I keep wondering what has happened to him, which is Washington Sundar. Because
it's a big mystery.
Washington. If you tell me that Abdul Samad has done more for cricket, in his cricketing career than Washington Sundar has, and what she can bowl as well, I just do not understand it. Samad he's had these little pretty 30s and 40s, but he's never consistently delivered for this side for the past 4 years. I can understand Glenn Phillips being there, because what happens is that if they have a batting collapse, then they sort of sacrifice the bowler, put Glenn Phillips in as an extra batsman, and say that this is what we need to do and get away with it. And that's what they're probably going to do if they lose early wickets. If they stay on course, then they can always bring back a bowler, and they have enough options for that, of course.
You were talking about Washington Sundar. He's been so beautiful with the bat, because he looks like that very classy player when he comes out and bats. He's batted up the order, but he's just been ridden with too many injuries.
Yeah, injuries, and the fact that I don't know, there must be something going on behind the scenes, right? It's something that we never get to see, or as fans, you don't really know unless you're in that circle. So I hope that he gets his opportunity soon, because he's a class player. He adds value from a bowling, fielding, batting point of view as well. Recently played against Afghanistan, picked up a 2 for there. So I think he's someone that they need to turn to. Like, remember, it's the Indian Premier League. So you're going to win tournaments based on your domestic players. So you need to get those guys firing before your overseas. Your overseas will win you 4-5 games maximum if you're lucky, but it's your Indian players that will win you the tournament.
Well, talking about overseas players, Mumbai has only 3 in their playing 11. We'll have a look at their impact list, because this is a new strategy that people are doing, Jordan.
Yeah. This is a new strategy that they're doing, because then replacement becomes much easier. You can replace for anybody. And again, you have a look at it here. They're basically, at this point in time, they're replacing for batters.
Yes.
Because they're going to bat second. But if it turns out that suddenly somebody's going for a lot of runs and they need a couple of extra overs, Romario Shepherd is always there. They can throw him in.
And Nabi as well.
Yeah, and Nabi as well, if the ball is turning as well. So I think this 3, if you have enough strength, playing 3 international players up front is a great strategy. Because then it gives you a huge, much more flexibility. But it'll be interesting to see how it turns out, because I think 2 things have happened now. Hyderabad has gone to their basics and said, we need to score runs. There's no other way to do it. Our bowling is not strong enough, it will not deliver for us. We need to score runs. Put in that international batsman. And therefore, one thing Travis said will be, he'll be aggressive. Whether he gets out or not, he will be aggressive. And I think that intent is what they want to see.
You've used the word, Joyda. You're going to get a red card. It was in our list of words. Process, intent, fortress, but you're coming back.
And momentum, yeah.
And momentum.
True. I'm sorry. Some money in the cookie jar.
Yeah. Dinner's on Joyda today.
But I think also, given the Australian leadership, even though Vittoria's a New Zealander, I think they've gone to what they know or what they feel comfortable, right? And that actually might work for them, because they'll set up an environment where Head will come in and feel very comfortable. No doubt Aidan Markram coming in, having captained the side, albeit won back-to-back SA20 titles, right, for the same franchise, doesn't get the captaincy. New captain, new coach, you start to feel a little bit unsettled. So I'm not surprised by his performance, really. So going to Head might be let's get the band back together.
But Lisa, you spoke about how domestic players, because it's the Indian Premier League, have to shine. But what does one do when you have a Klaassen in a team? The knock that he played the other day, he was incredible. He's just got this skill of just rocking back and hitting everything out of the park, Joy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he hit 3 boundaries and he hit 3 4s and 8 6s. And almost all his 6s are back there. In fact, somebody was analysing their batsmen and said that firstly, the shifting of weight. Secondly, he's very low, so he can, has the ability to get under the ball. But all that a lot of batsmen have. After that, to have that timing and that power consistently. So, I mean, just recently he won the Seattle Hawkers, the Major League Cricket Championship, and literally won it single-handed. I think he got 110. They were chasing 196 against an MI side that had the likes of Rashid Khan and Trent Bolt, and he took them apart. And again, that ability. Because not all the pitches, the pitches sometimes in places where there's not that much cricket can be much lower and slower. That is something that is unique to him, his ability to be able to adjust his bat speed to the kind of pitches that he has so that he can adjust for that ball holding just a bit. That is just incredible.
But Lisa, Joy is talking about it. Everyone has a skill, but he just manages to pick that length because spinners have like this wafer thin margin of error, little bit, and it's out of the park.
It is quite amazing because you look at the skill of batting and bowling. Bowlers, if they miss, they get other deliveries or they get another over. As a batter, you miss, you're out. But his ability to consistently find the middle of the bat and then clear by a country mile the boundary, that is an amazing skill. And to be able to back it up from last IPL throughout other tournaments and then come back here and first game do exactly what you did last year. I mean, it tells you that this guy is got to be one of your first picks in any team that he plays in. So as a bowler, you're at the top of your mark and you are scared. Where do you bowl, right? Because if you miss, it's gone. So he's put so much pressure on the opposition that he's already winning the game before they've even bowled the ball. So just because of the class of this guy and what he's been able to do. So the thing is, how long can he keep going? I mean, that's the thing.
By the way, I made a mistake. It wasn't 3 4s and 8 6s. It was 0 4s and 8 6s.
Just all out of the park. All out.
So,
Who needs to hit 4s when you can hit 6s, eh, Joy?
Also, he had his T20 international, not his T20 record, not his international record. International, I think, is about 55 4s to 33 6s. But this thing, one of the things is when you're in a situation like they were last time, 6s were the only way. The secondly is that you can't, if you can loft the ball enough, you can't set a field to save a 6. So that's the whole point of it. That means that you are in a situation where you can do it whenever you want to. And since 2023, just see that record. Since 2023, he's hit more 6s than 4s. So that means that record was hugely in favour of 4s before that. And now he's switched totally.
Simon is someone who says he doesn't like the word matchups, but with how Klaassen played in the last game and what Bumrah did in the last game, this is one matchup I'd really like to see because 4 overs, 14 runs, 3 wickets, just that one boundary and then no boundaries at all. He's been spectacular this season. Mumbai really missed him in the last season. But what is it about Bumrah, Lisa? Is it his variation or is it his consistency?
Variation, consistency, freak nature, his action.
Hyperextension.
We're very fortunate to live in a world that has Jasprit Bumrah. Let's just be honest. And you're right, everyone missed him. Maybe the opposition teams haven't missed him. But his ability to land the ball straight away. He comes in, we were wondering when he was going to bowl. It took, 3rd, 4th over, picks up a wicket, then comes back, first delivery, slower delivery, caught. He just lands the ball wherever he wants. Now that is a huge skill, and then he's got the wonderful variation. So, it is going to be an interesting matchup because you want to see the best versus the best, and these two are premium at the moment.
Joy, I read this story somewhere that when Bumrah was much younger in school, his mother used to not let him go out to play in the sun, which is why he used a rubber ball. And when she used to sleep in the afternoon, he used to try and bowl to the skirting of the wall. And that's how he learned how to bowl his Yorkers. So just to make sure his mother gets his sleep and he didn't want that sound to disturb her, today that sound is really disturbing a lot of batsmen.
It's disturbing a lot of stumps. It is disturbing a lot of stumps, but that's the point. I mean, also what combination that you have, that you have this guy who has this ability to also, the over in which he got that first wicket, who was Riddhiman Shah, 140, 120, 140, 120, to be able to change pace and be able to consistently maintain your length and line still, and then finish it off with a 140 Yorker is just, I mean, the fact that he played that over, what could Riddhiman Shah do? He had no other option. But I think more than that, that is also important, that if you look at that and that record and what he's capable of doing, I just want to go back to an earlier topic. He'd be wondering, saying that, why am I not being regarded as the next captain of the Mumbai Indians?
It's a question a lot of fans had. A lot of fans had that question, and he spoke about it because he put out emoticon when the captaincy was announced, so it was clearly playing on his mind.
What did he put out?
He put out like a heartbreak.
Did he?
Yeah, on his Instagram story.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Missed that one.
And at least it's honest. He's straight.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
the truth of it is that I think that Rohit was grooming him for the taking over the captaincy. And I think that is a succession plan, at least in Rohit's head. And of course, you know, all the best laid plans of mice and men invariably go like that. But that's my point, that I think he's too much of a professional to allow him to, you know, affect his game. The other person who could have been in contention is Surya, and Surya is out for at least half a season, so we're not thinking about him right now. But Bumrah so far has not shown, you know, has not allowed all this noise to impact him at all.
I just wanted to go back to your point. It's quite fascinating, and maybe more so in Australia. Your backyards, or where you get brought up and where you learn the game of cricket, actually has a huge impact. Phil Hughes used to have, I think his family used to have a rose bush kind of on the onside, and so the gap was through that cover and point region.
So it was an offset.
So everything was like, I'm going to actually open up and hit there. So it is quite interesting if you can actually get to find out where they first learnt the game, or
That's
what
a
they
lovely
actually
area.
did. You can see certain things in their games of why they're so strong in certain areas. And you're saying the skirting board, Yorkers, he nails it every time.
But Joy, isn't it with Mumbai batters, because we can only play straight?
It's all straight.
Yeah, you keep hitting straight.
It's straight, and if you're a right-hander, you'll have a decent offside game. Because normally it's on the pavement on one side, or you're playing in the middle here, so you're playing like that, inside out. But no, this is a fascinating thought, you know. And so much of this is how geography impacts you. R.P. Singh was in the studio once, and he was saying that UP is a huge state. I mean, UP is more popular. They're populous than most countries. You'll go for the Yodhas. Yeah. So they have two real schools of gharanas of cricket in UP, you know, where the cricket comes from. One is Lucknow, okay, where the Lucknow Sports College is, and one is Meerut, which is closer to Delhi. Now, Meerut is also a place where all the factories are there of, you know, sporting equipment, cricket balls. So they get access to a lot of new balls. So all the great new ball bowlers, Bhuvi, Praveen, they're all from the Meerut, Moradabad, that side. All the guys who do the old ball, they are RP Singh and all, they are from Lucknow, because they didn't get the balls in that condition. So yeah, you're saying geography has...
Joy, I've got an idea. Maybe we should do a documentary series.
Finding out where, what
like
made...
go back to the initial and then kind of track and see.
It's a fantastic idea. It's a fantastic idea.
Would you be
Cricbuzz,
interested?
are you listening? Producer sir.
But considering,
off topic.
Considering Joyda's given us his little Joy Factor trivia, maybe we should have a look at your question, because you've already given that trivia bit. With you, we always know there will be some history, some geography.
And 5 names at least.
Yeah, yesterday's question, Lisa, because yesterday's question we were just... Our producer said it's an easy question, but there were like 8 names there and we were so confused with the names.
Yeah, that's just smoke and mirrors. As they say,
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, today's one is something very close to the heart. Very close to your heart. In
Oh, that's a clue.
What happened exactly 30 years ago on this day for the first time in a city also known as Tamaki Makau Rao?
On this day?
I know she'll know which city it is.
It's New Zealand.
Yes.
Yeah.
30 years ago, 30.
Yeah.
30
years ago.
Oh no.
Lisa, go for it.
No, I can't.
You can't. You're going to get people a chance.
Exactly.
But do you think you
This
know?
question is
No, I got it
dedicated
wrong.
to you, Saiyami.
Oh, then I will know. I'll give it some thought. I'll know. Yeah, I'll give it some thought. Because if it's directed to me, we know where it's going. For everyone watching.
I know you're a Jeffrey Boycott fan. Everyone knows you're a Jeffrey Boycott.
But it's also the range of it. I mean, it can be directed to me, but the man has left behind such a big legacy and so many years that it could be anything.
This is very specific. Very specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
It can be Ajinkya Rahane also.
Yeah.
Of course, it can be.
But 30 years ago,
30
Ajinkya
years, he
Rahane
was
would be...
4 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so she knows the exact.
She knows.
5. He turned 35 now, but 5 years. But Lisa, do you think you know the...
No, I thought and then I got it wrong.
Oh, because yesterday Simon looked really confident when we put the question out, and then it was totally wrong.
completely-
It was totally wrong. But what we were also very wrong with yesterday.
Okay.
Okay.
You have to pull
Beat
our
GK,
socks.
beat
You
GK.
have to. That's the aim.
Okay, first, who are batting first? Sunrisers. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to have a good day. So I'm going to go 194.
Wow.
I'm going to go
So much for all the Bumrah talk we did. 194.
182.
You're all going high. Come on.
You want to go
gonna
higher
go-
or lower?
182, you said.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 176. 174.
Okay.
Okay, gives you a bit more gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go lower because Jasprit Bumrah, we saw what he did, and I hope he does that. We'll wait and watch because we've also got a very young new debutant coming to bowl. That's also very exciting. So I'm hoping that he has a great start. We'll wait and watch. Our only aim is to be able to beat GK downstairs. That's our only goal. Why don't you all write in with your predictions as well? We will count you all in and our team. I think
Yes.
that's a good idea. We need more power to beat the defending champion. So please write in and hashtag Cricbuzz live, and let's see if we have a winner. We will announce your names if we have a winner. That's all we have time for right now. But don't forget to join us at the 10 over point at the Cricbuzz Combox. We'll see you all soon.
कृपया लक्ष्य द्या. जयपुर वाया कोटा.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ
Hyderabad 50 Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন।